Check one, two. Check one, two. Check one, two. We are live. We're live. Yo, welcome in. Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Welcome to the live. How we feeling? Caleb is in the building. What's up, Caleb? Welcome in to the stream. Blanca's in the building. Welcome in. Raya, appreciate you tapping in. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping into Track Talk today. Let me see. Bing Mojo, welcome in. Antonio's welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Let me just switch over to a couple other things here just really briefly, and then we'll get flowing with some music here in just a moment. Appreciate y'all tapping into the stream. Thank y'all so much for joining. It is going to be another short stream today. We're going to listen to a handful of songs, and then we'll be out of here early afternoon. Earthwood's in the building. Ocean, thank you so much for tapping in. It's good to see you again. Thank y'all for joining. Appreciate y'all being here. If y'all are over on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share it the live with a few people. Repost. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. And we'll get, like I said, we'll get flowing with some music here in the next few minutes or so. I remember the name. Yeah, I remember the name. Thanks for tapping in. Tyler's in the building. What's up, Tyler? Welcome in. Let me see. Let me switch over here real quick. Bleem's in the building. Duff6, welcome in. I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Again, y'all keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. And we'll get moving with some music here in just a couple minutes. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see if I can't open up a different session here. Adriano's in the building. What's up, Adriano? Welcome in. I appreciate you joining. How y'all feeling today? If you're joining over on TikTok, definitely let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. And of course, hopefully we'll dive into a couple of them here pretty quickly because it's not going to be a very live stream. It's not going to be a very long stream. So I want to make sure that we get into the consultations and get into the music here pretty quickly. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Hunger Strike's in the building. What's up, Hunger Strike? Welcome in. Sarah, Lynn, Liam, appreciate y'all joining. Welcome into the stream. Awake's in the building. Captain's in the building. Y'all, welcome in. Welcome in. Blue Song Studio's in the building. What's up, Blue Song Studio? Yeah, let me know. If y'all are making music, I want to make sure I chat with y'all for a little bit before we get things rolling. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. If you're coming in for the first time, I would love to know where y'all are joining from. Singer-songwriter in Dallas, making a pop album like 5. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My wife and I were in Dallas for about 2.5 years, up until about a year ago. We've lived in San Antonio most of our lives, but we moved to Dallas, had a small studio there for about 2.5 years, and then we just last year moved back into San Antonio, but we really did like Dallas. There's a lot of things to do in Dallas. Derek Bennett's in the building. What's up, Derek Bennett? Luca's in the building. What's up, Luca? Kenzo, Pinkvale, welcome in. Yoti, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Joining from Longview, Texas. We got Texas in the building here. Let's go. Welcome in. We're going to move quick, y'all. So if you want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. Of course, most of y'all know, but if you don't know, the consultation side is the real deep, the deep part of the structure that we do here. And then we do have a free line for an up to 2-minute listen really quickly. You can submit everything at the link in my bio. Give me just one more minute before I explain the live stream and dive into it. I'm probably going to be listening to about 4 or 5 songs today. It's gonna be short and sweet. Question: any tips for growing up as an artist, or do you mean growing as an artist as far as like your business and your exposure and stuff like that? Let me know just so I can clarify the way that I answer the question. But I do appreciate the question. Thanks for tapping in. Let me see. Hey, Metrics, welcome in as well. Appreciate you joining. Abdullah, welcome in as well. The way that I've grown, so for those of you who don't know, I do music full time in a bunch of different capacities as far as being a producer, session musician, audio engineer, so on and so on. I did a lot of live mixing and stuff like that earlier in my career as a musician and stuff like that as well. The way that I built that, the way that I was able to do it full time, is showing people what I do. I don't think there is a better way to build your music business than to show people what you do. There's kind of no way around that. People need to know that you are as talented as you are saying that you are. People need to know that you actually know what you're talking about. People need to know that they're going to get the result that you claim you're going to get them. And I think the best way to do that is to actually show people that you do that. I do a lot of work with synths, as maybe you can see. I do not even necessarily going live, but just posting what you do, talking about what you do, like meeting with people, communicating with networking with people that you want to work with, whatever it may be. But I do a lot of session work. Tracking synths and stuff like that. And because I post a lot on social media of me playing synths, that's how I get most of my clientele, the people that hire me for studio session work and for me tracking keys or piano or synths on their songs and stuff like that. That's one of the main reasons why I get that work, is because I show people what I do. You can go to my profile and see 400 videos of me playing synths or just messing around with random stuff. And every single time that quite literally every single time that I post that I do that, or I post me just not even promoting it necessarily, but just doing it, people shoot me a DM and say, at least one person will shoot me a DM and be like, hey, I have an album coming up and I really want kind of a Juno style thing on there. I'm going to keep you in my back pocket kind of a thing. And so that to me is that to me is the best way to do it. Blue Song, thank you for the studio. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Sarah, thank you for the follow as well. I really appreciate it. Kenzo's asleep. No worries. Katie's in the building. What's up, Katie? Please. Let me go what I want. Covered by Deftones. Sending on artist mails might be method or just spam message. I mean, people are spammed out a little bit. So you got to be really aware of not just what you're doing, but kind of like the culture of the internet at the time, right? Like, people are exhausted, man. People are tired. They're tired of being marketed to. They're tired of being promoted to. They're tired of the cold message, the cold email, because 95% of the time it's someone that just wants something from you. They're just trying to spam you, or scam you. They're just trying to get something out of you with very little return to them as far as the investment goes. And so I do think it's important to understand just like the culture of the internet. I think it's important to understand the culture of the platform that you're on. It's different every platform. YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and these other platforms, they're very different in kind of the culture of the platform and what people are there for. But people don't want to really be marketed to. Anima's in the building. What's up, Anima? People don't want to be marketed to. They don't want to be sold constantly, which is why I say just show people what you do. Like for me, if you go to my posts and you just find any number of posts of me just like randomly playing synths and stuff like that, which again is a big part of my business. If you go to my post and you see me doing that, if not incredibly rarely, are you ever seeing me like, hey guys, just letting you know I have 2 more spots open to like track synths on your record. So if you're looking to, if you're looking to take your record to the next level and you need synths, then I'm your guy. Shoot me a DM and I'll get you whatever. You just see me play them. you just see me talk about them. You'll see me just, twirling with stuff. You'll see me just making sounds and stuff like that. And because I'm not marketing to you, I'm not pushing you. I'm not trying to like sell you on anything. I'm just showing you cool things that I do, cool things that I have, the way that I approach building sound design, maybe even like helpful tips on that. Then people are like, dude, I don't even want to spend the time to do that. I'm not going to spend $2,000 on a Juno. I'd rather you just do it. And then people do it. And so that's where I'm like, don't spam message people. Don't cold email people constantly unless you have a really nuanced strategy for doing that. And that makes sense for you. Show people what you do. If you're a vocalist, if you're a songwriter, if you're a poet, if you're a musician, you're an engineer, you're a producer, whatever it is, there's no better way for you to get business than you just quite literally showing people that you do that, and showing your strengths, showing things that you're working on, showing things you want to improve on, showing projects in the studio. Are you making cables? Are you redoing your sound absorption or whatever it may be? So anyways, that's the long-winded answer. Can't get any traction lately. It's a game, Derek. It's such a game, and I'm bad at the game. I'm not even speaking from like some like hype, or something like that. Like I've made it, especially on the artist side, which I literally do nothing with. Getting traction for that stuff is a game that you need to play for one consistently. What's up, Vadas? Welcome in. Something you have to do very consistently, but it's also something that you need to trial a lot with. And if you're doing something, if you're doing something very consistently and it's just not working at all, then it might be time to pivot. Like if you've done the same format of a post 60 different times over a couple months and it's just not doing anything for you, then for whatever reason it's not connecting. We probably need to pivot a little bit. Nicole's in the building. What's up, Nicole? Welcome in. How well have you done in the music business? Because this question leads to another one I have. I work full time in music, so how well is it dependent on what you define your financial success as and what that means for you in the area that you live in and whatever that means. But yeah, I work full time in music, so for me that's very successful because that's very challenging to do. Yeah, any genre. Okay, it's going to be short today, y'all, so let me just double check a few things really quick because we are going to dive into some music in just a moment, but I'm going to go ahead and explain the live stream really quick. So Yoti, I got you. Mads, I got you. Locke, I got you. Last Dinosaurs, and Soha, I got you as well. Okay, let me see. I got all those in the line so far. Okay, let's really quick. I'll explain a little bit of what we do, and then I can keep answering some questions. I'm going to be on for like an hour and a half today. Nothing too crazy. It's going to be short and sweet. You're on my birthday present in October. Husband's going to give me. Let's go, Nicole. I love that. I'm honored. I'm so honored. That's amazing. I don't know if that. I think that would probably be a first as far as the format for getting there. So, man, I feel honored. I feel blessed. Thank you for that. Okay, let me double check a few things really quick, and then let's get things rolling. Let's get things rolling. 1, 2, 3. I'm excited. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. Any way that I can help you in any format, just let me know. We'll dive into it, of course, then. But yeah, that's exciting. All right, let's see. Okay, really quick, for those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk, welcome to the family, welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all being here. In this live stream, in this particular live stream, there are 2 lanes that you can go into. There is a free line. That free line is up to 2-minute listen with a quick note at the end. So like I said, we'll listen to up to 2 minutes of your song, and then we'll give it a quick note at the end and then move on fairly quickly with those. Romeo, good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in. On the other side, the main side, the consultation side, those are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. Those are not quick reviews. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is strictly a long form dive into the structure of your music. Those are, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes per song. They are 2 to 3 times through the instrumental or through the song itself. If you have a full production and artistry on it, we'll dive into it. We're going to dive into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song formatting. We're going to get into the details and the nuances of what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. It is long form. They're deep dives. They're really, really nuanced breakdowns of the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, we've already talked a little bit about it, but my name's Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist, and so that's a lot of the structure of what we talk about. It's a lot of the perspective that we hold to just offer some tools, some feedback, some actionable feedback on the structure of your music. If you're on TikTok and you would like to submit for said consultation, or the free line with the free line with the quick note, or if you want the full consultation side, everything's at the link in my bio. You can see both of the lanes right there. You can also see the queue there. Just click see the queue, and you'll see exactly where you are in line. You'll see all of those details there. If you are on the red app that we're also live on right now, Anima, I see you over there, then you can go to the description for the live stream. If you are on the purple app that we're also live on, you can type !submit, and it'll pop up for you right there in the chat. Violet Room is in the building. But I appreciate y'all so much. Let me answer just a couple more questions, and then we'll dive into the music. But once again, if you would like to submit your music for the detailed long-form consultation side, or just the free line with the quick listen right there, and then everything's at the link in my bio. And then is it Shuffle? Am I saying that correctly? Don't spam the chat. I don't want you to get muted by a mod or myself. So don't spam the chat. But if you would like to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. Everything is at the link in the bio. Libby, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. You're the background noise for cleaning house currently. Let's go. Let's see. Cold Hearted had a question from earlier. So let me just double check that real quick. I love it, Derek. I love it. Let me see. Is it, let me see. And thank you for the heart me, Libby. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a quick reminder as well. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Make sure you're reposting. Share the live. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. Let me see. I have new music soon. Let's go, Derek. And I know we gotta hop on a consultation here pretty soon too as well, Derek. Once you have your catalog kind of set ready to go. How long have you been producing? I mean, largely speaking, since for probably about 22 years, 22, 23 years or so that I've been producing professionally for the last 14. That's kind of been working in music for a very, very long time. I've done a lot in music from a very, very young age that I've been working in the music space. But professionally and actually getting paid by bands and clientele and stuff like that. It's been since I was about 12 years old. I used to make productions on floppy disks. If you know, floppy disks on my old Yamaha Clavinova, and I would mix them on there until I taught myself how to use Pro Tools when I was 12, 13 years old on PT5 with the Digidesign M-Box Mini. I love that thing. My whole life, I just turned 21. Don't make me feel old. I don't feel old. I'm 30. I'm 32. I'm not old, but you saying that's your whole life is how long I've been using Pro Tools is making me sad. Yeah, it's because I started very young. I've been playing drums since I was 4 years old. I was a classically trained pianist from the age of 6 all the way through 19, did guild, all that fun stuff. And then I taught myself guitar at 8, and then taught myself how to use Pro Tools when I was about 12, 13 years old. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Okay, let me answer just a couple things, and we'll dive into a couple songs. Again, everything's at the link in my bio. If you want the deep dive, of course, go to that. And if you want the free line, of course, you can as well. Those are up to 2 minutes of your song. And a quick note: the consultation is a 20 to 30 minute deep dive breakdown. Every time I upload a file, it opens up a new tab on the browser. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that would be. Are you going into the free line? If you're trying to upload multiple times to the free line, it probably won't let you because you can only upload one song to the free line. You can't just submit like 30 songs to the free line. So if you're trying to like upload another file or upload another free submission, then it's probably going to cap you. It's just going to be shooting you maybe to a blank tab or something like that. Is it Locked in Key? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Maddox, yeah, I produce any genre. I genuinely work with a lot of random different genres pretty consistently. There's never one time where I am working really consistently in just one genre. It's gonna be rap, R&B, pop, 80s stuff. I've worked with some contemporary artists, some progressive metal artists. It's a little bit all over the place. Soha, thank you for the music. Thank you for the music, but also thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me see. I wanted to answer this question real quick. Is it better to enjoy making music more than wanting to turn it into a career? Come on, TikTok. Bring it back. Turn it into a career because of your life. Let me see. I enjoy music, but I've been working so hard because I want to change my life. Should that be my goal? I think that's, I don't want to give you a cliche answer or like an answer that's unhelpful, but I think that's a very personal question. I know people that they have zero desire to make music a career, they don't want to grind at music and hustle at music. They don't want to find opportunities. They just like the creative process. So they spend, shout out to Ray. Ray's awesome. They have a good job, they have a good stable job, and they use some of their, that's an overwhelming question. It's facts. Some of y'all won't get that, it's fine. But that's an overwhelming question. What do I do? But that's, to me, it's a very personal question though, where it's, I know, like I said, I know people where, no, you're good. No, sorry. It's a joke from a Russ video. You're totally fine. But it is a very personal question. Like I said, I know people that have great stable jobs and they use their extra money to just fund their hobby of music. And they got some nice gear. They bought a nice mic. They treated their space and they enjoy making some songs every once in a while because it's a good creative outlet for them. And then there's other people where they're like, they might not even have a stable job. They might be, couch surfing and they pour all of their extra money and all of their extra stuff into their dream and their goal and their passion that they're going to make it in music. But neither one of those things are like right or wrong or one's better or worse than the other. They're just two different approaches to the way that you value your music and so on and so on. For me, I'm probably a little bit of halfway between all of them, right? My passion since I was like literally 5 years old was music. I've always wanted to do music my entire life. Now, through that course of wanting to do music full time and wanting to play in bands and wanting to, produce music and play instruments and stuff like that, be a session musician, be an engineer, all of that stuff, all of that stuff. I've done a bunch of different jobs throughout my life that have led to being able to support me doing music, especially leading up into the time where I was largely doing music full time. So that's, there's a lot of nuance to that. For me, there's nothing I would rather, if I'm going to be grinding at a job, if I'm going to be working at a job, if I'm going to be hustling for something, there's nothing I would rather do that for than music. music. It's the thing I'm the most passionate about. So if it was I had to like, just absolutely grind myself to the bone at an office job, or I had to do the same thing to fight for, being in the music space in a very saturated market, I'd rather do it for music, and it's worked well for me in some contexts. So anyways, I think I don't envision me living any other way. I was just curious. Yeah, I think whether or not it's harmful is very, very subjective to your experience. Very, very subjective to your experience. It really depends. Really depends on what harmful. I mean, I know people that are like, man, for me, I can't imagine not just having the stable check coming in every 2 weeks. If music happens, cool. For other people, it's like, it's my life. It's my world. You know what I mean? And it's a different perspective, and neither one is right or wrong. Whether or not that's harmful depends on you and your circumstances, depends on you and your family, your dynamics, your relationships, what that looks like for you. But, I think it's very subjective, very, very subjective. Let me answer a few, and then let's get into it. My job funds my music. If I make it, I make it. If not a huge deal. I love the creativity. 100% facts. I mean, I think that's a great way to think about it. Okay, let's get into a couple things. Actually, I need to bring over a submission. I think, who did I just see? Ruchi's in the building. I was here last time. I paid for a skip on my song. I got you. Ruchi, do me a huge favor. I want you to submit to the free line with your song, with your file, with your link, and I'm going to put you back in the same spot you were in so I can get you in line. Thank you so much for tapping back in. I'm going to get you right where I had you the other day, and get you up on the board here in just a second. Yeah, but that allows me to get you in this session, and I'll boost you myself. Can you ghostwrite? Yeah, of course you can. So many people do. Cold-hearted Fudd, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. How do you create melodies every day? It's different every time. I play, if you're asking me personally, I'm the one here. I play a lot of different instruments, so the way that I approach building melodies really depends on what I gravitate towards, whether it's just, popping up. I have an upright piano in another room, whether it's like popping up on that, playing an acoustic or an electric guitar, whether it's like building a drum beat and then adding some melody over that, whether it's going straight to a synth that, inspires me, or opening up some plugins and just going through some presets and seeing what happens. But for me, this is not a very helpful answer maybe, but for me, it really depends every single time. There's not a methodology that I have to, and for me, that's like, for me personally, creatively, I don't really have a methodology to building melodies or building productions. To me, that limits me, makes me feel like I'm pulling from like a set level of experience or a set level of, creativity. And for me, that doesn't help me be more creative. And so anyways, that's my personal question is I just go to the thing, whether that's a guitar, whether that's a vocal line, whether it's a voice memo I recorded a year ago, whether it's a synth, or whatever it may be. I will just, or sometimes I will just like open up a synth or a plugin. I'll turn on an arpeggiator, and I'll just start playing some random notes and some random stuff, and I'll just record it and let it flow, print it, and then I'll find little pockets of that. Ooh, it's like actually that ended up being a really random but really cool melody in the middle, and I'll use that as a melody structure to build some other stuff off of. Using some like randomization can also be helpful because you're not just like, is this the melody that I like? I don't know. Like, have I heard that before? I don't know. But having something that kind of randomizes what you do can also be really helpful. Okay. Sean, I got you. Sean, appreciate you so much. So give me 1 second. Let me just double check the submission down here. And let me also double check where the last one was as well. I'm weird to write everything down first to make myself remember. There's nothing weird about that. That's the fun thing about creativity. That's the fun thing about art is the way that you approach it. The way that you approach it is very personal. Some people, they like the corporate environment. Some people, they really, really like going into a studio with 15 of their best friends, hyping them up, doing crazy stuff. And then some people like getting an Airbnb tiny home in the mountains of Montana, and that's where they write all of their best stuff. It's very, very individualistic. That's what's cool about art is there's no real like weird way to do it. You just do like, if the end result for you is good quality art and it feels like something that's relatable and personal and it puts you in a space where you feel like you are getting out of art what you're trying to get out of art, then that's what matters. Take a look. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I feel like you could do an entire live just answering questions. I should. If y'all would like that, let me know. Because I know I do these consultations all the time. I do these other stuff. If y'all would like a once a week where like my schedule's weird, but like every Friday morning, we just answer questions for an hour. 2 hours, something like that. Jack, thank you for the follow. Let me know if that'd be valuable. Let me know if that'd be interesting. I try to answer questions in between songs and stuff, but I'll do my best. If there's something y'all think would be really valuable, something would be really helpful for y'all, or just interesting, entertaining, whatever it might be, then let me know. All right, let me open up this last session really quick and see where I've got y'all. Sean, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it. All right, y'all keep tapping the screen too. We're going to get flowing with music here in just a moment. in just a moment. There's Ruchi. So Ruchi, I got you with the 10. So let me find you on the current session real quick. If I've got you, I don't think I have you yet. I don't think I have it yet. Let's see. Okay, Ruchi, as soon as I get you in the current session, I'll bump you up to the 10 where I had you as well. But let's get into some music, y'all. It's time to move. We just got like another maybe an hour and a half before we're out of here. Sounds good. Take your time. We got one other in front of you anyway, so don't worry too much about it. But let's dive in. Do you think it takes a little bit of funds to move your music? I've never put funds behind my music, and it's done fine. I mean, I'm not even necessarily talking about my personal music. I put funds behind stuff. The stuff costs money, but behind promotion, I've never done any promotion. Any of the songs that I've worked on, never done any promotion, and it's worked out fine. I think you just got to find how to connect with people. People want to be connected to. People want you should want to connect with people as well. It's one of the best mediums of art is the ability to connect and relate to people and have them hear a story and relate to it, and it becomes their own, and they're inspired by it, and they love the sound of it, the sound being the carrier of that message. Like that, that's one of the, I think, the beautiful things about art. And so, I don't think you have to have, we live in a kind of hyper-capitalistic society, especially on the art side as well, which is unfortunate. But I do think that you just have to find what medium makes sense to you to kind of push that forward. You don't have to put money behind it. A lot of people do. A lot of people are successful because they have. It doesn't mean that it is necessary for that to happen, for you to be successful with your music. There's many people that have succeeded out of just discovery and out of connecting with people, and those people wanting to show other people that this music is worth connecting to as well. Zach, welcome in. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you tapping in. So anyways, that's, quick spiel there, but let's get into it. We got Sean McChord in the building. Sean, hop in the chat. I believe it's my first time hearing your music. Song was wrote a few years ago and never released. Give me all the details. The question I always ask people is, what is the role that you play in your music? What is the role that you play in your music? And let's dive into it. Is it Gija? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate that. Quick reminder, y'all, it's going to be a short stream today. A quite literal handful of songs today. We'll be off of here probably in the next hour and a half or so. I will probably be live a little bit tomorrow afternoon. I'm doing a lot of shorter lives towards the end of the week here, just trying to fill in between other work. But later next week, like Tuesday and on, we should have our normal long form, 4 or 5 hour streams a little bit later on into the week as well. I sing and I wrote the lot on voice notes, and me and a friend recorded in a day. Let's go. Yeah. Any other details you have on the production of this, the build out of this, let me know. Thank you for the follow. And let's get into it. This is Lost by Sean McChord. Let's get into it. Play your guitar. Beautiful. Thank you for the heart me as well. What's up, Rico? Welcome in. What's up, Jenna? What's up, Dave? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. This is cool. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Got you, Mason. Appreciate you. I gotta close submissions. I just got a bunch of skips in, so I'm gonna close it up for now. Demore got you. Appreciate you so much. Mason got you. Appreciate y'all so much. Sick. Dan. Appreciate you. What's up, Wubsy? Thank you for the heartbeat, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all, please show some love. What's up, Wubsy? So good to see you, man. Please show some love to Sean McChord. The song is called Lost. They made the song a couple years ago and never released it, never did anything with it. I would the song structure and the dynamics are fantastic. They're fantastic. There's some things to polish in the mix. There's some separation we could pursue. There's some distinction between elements in the mix we could pursue. It's missing some low end and low mids. It's really hot in the more strict mids. It has a lot of fantastic energy, fantastic execution as far as vocals, as far as like movement in the song, tone on the guitar. I think the execution is really, really solid. It just needs some clarity. It needs some separation. We can talk a little bit about that here. But I definitely think if you made this a couple years ago and you are even contemplating the thought of like, maybe we revisit this, maybe we send it to an engineer, maybe we do something with this, highly recommend that you do it. It is a great song. Beautiful melody structure. Those lead melodies, the consistency and repetition of your hook, I think are absolutely beautiful. They're very, very well structured. So there's the foundation of this to me is fabulous. I tell people all the time, the mix of the song is like number 4 or 5 on the list of things that really matter in your record. And that's coming from a professional engineer. It has to be a good song. It has to have good structure. It has to have good dynamics. It has to have good contrasting elements. And that doesn't, that doesn't matter the style or genre of the song. It needs the elements there first. It needs a good song and a good structure first and foremost. If that's not there, it doesn't matter. You could have a terrible, terrible song and mix it with a Grammy-winning engineer. It could still be a terrible song and not do anything for you. And you could get a song where someone literally just recorded it into their phone sitting in their car and it goes viral on TikTok and gets millions of streams because people connected to the song, to the artist, to the aesthetic, whatever. So in this case, I think you have a good song. You have great dynamics. It needs some polish, but those are all things that are fairly, I say easy. It's still, it's still a bit of a chore sometimes, but that's fairly easy to work out as far as mix goes. So let's get into it. We're going to run it back from the top. We're going to dive into some details here, but this is Lost by Sean McChord. I'm going to actually, I'm going to drop it into Pro Tools really quickly just because I want to look for some kind of frequency things in here too. I'm gonna pull up an EQ on here just briefly. It's really unfortunate because TikTok has been like blocking my stream every time that I try to like pull something up on Pro Tools and show it on the screen. Because I used to just like stream Pro Tools straight to the stream, and it won't let me do it anymore. Every time that I do it, it's like you are not eligible for the For You page anymore. It's unoriginal content. It's quite literally me just showing me doing something in real time. It's super annoying. But anyways. We'll forget about that for just a moment, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully soon, dude. Of course, Sean. Of course. Torvik, you're basically advocating for effective collaboration. Seems very intelligent. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. And you're spot on. You're spot on. Exactly. Okay, let's run it from the top. Sean McChord, Lost. Let's run it. And again, really quickly. It's a short live today. I've already closed the line. It's not going through. On the free line, Ruchi? You tried it on the free line? I'll try to work it out. It's going to be a slim live today. I'm going to try again to maybe go live tomorrow afternoon as well, Ruchi. So if it doesn't work out today or if it's too crazy today, just because I was like, we're moving slow. I had a short live. I was answering some question. Not on the free line either. Yeah, I don't know how much time I have in between to try to work it out. If you are able to come in tomorrow too, just in case I'm not able to get it in today. If you're able to come in tomorrow too, I'll have you send it to it. I'll send you an email that you can send it to, and I'll pull it up separately and make sure that I get you up on the board, and I'll boost it for you too. I'll give you some extra credit so that you can move forward a little bit faster than that 10 that you had on there as well. Because I know it's taking you a while to get in, and that's annoying that it's not working for you right now. Typically, you should just be able to submit whatever your file is to or link or whatever it is to the free line, and then I'll just boost it for you from the other session. I can try to do that. I can try to do that too. Biggs, good to see you. Appreciate you tapping in. Zach, thanks for tapping in. It's if you're on the purple app, it's !submit. That's where you get to pull up the submission link. But we are closed for today. Just it's a quick live. Anyways, Sean, let's get back into it. Dan, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. It's like people just doing anything with anyone, anytime. I haven't seen work really, really well. I think it's being very strategic with where you place your energy, where you place your resource, and what you prioritize. I think is really, really, really important. And that's going to be different for everybody because everybody's in a different position. If you're not a great musician, but you're a good writer, you might want to hire session musicians. If you're a phenomenal musician and vocalist, you might have that down and you really just need to focus on mix polish. You might even be able to get some fantastic rough mixes, and all you really need is someone for $50 to like polish up a master for you. Like everyone's pursuit of how they prioritize their resource and their time and their creative energy when they're getting into the music business is going to be very different for everyone. So I think that for me that's why it's like you got to kind of find your strengths and understand your weaknesses and understand that you can either take it all on yourself. You can take it like that's something I've done, over time. Anytime that I was like, I reached a pain point in my music, even as a young musician, I reached a pain point and I was like, well, I'd rather just figure it out myself. And I did. You can do that. But as I got older, my ability to take on new things like that have become slimmer, right? Like when I was, 14 years old and being like, okay, I'm learning Pro Tools and I don't know how to mix. And I started pursuing it. It was a lot easier to do then, to be like, oh yeah, let me just learn a different guitar. Or I don't really have a bass. Let me get a bass and then I'll learn bass. Like that's a lot easier to do then than now, where I'm like, man, I really want a cello on a record or something like that. But am I right now going to go spend $900 on a cello and like, suck at it for the next 18 months and try to figure it out? Maybe. I probably will. Maybe, or I might just hire a session musician or reach out to someone I know that plays cello and bring them into the studio or have them track for me remotely, right? Everyone's priority, and is going to be different. But Sean, let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details, and we'll dive into it. But I do have it dropped. Actually, I have it in Pro Tools right now, so we'll run through a couple things over here. And let's see. Let's see. Wait, hold on real quick. Where is... There we go. It does. Okay, I have it in Pro Tools right now, just so you know, and we'll talk through a couple of the quick details here. We can't do it all. Yeah, dude. It's my pride says I can, and then I realized really quickly that we've got to work on some other stuff. My time is best spent. My energy, my money, my time is best spent in other spaces. You'd pick up the cello like you invented the cello quit line. I would love to find that out. I think that would be sick. Let's drop an EQ on here really quickly. We're going to talk about a couple quick details where we can regain some separation in the song, and then we'll move on to the next couple records here. But yeah, we'll keep it fairly simple today. Let's run it from the top. Hold on real quick. Let's see. I got to be able to see where's my transport? Hold on one sec. Oh, there we go. Nope. Hold on one second. I have a smaller screen over on the other side. It's a vertical screen on the other side, and all of a sudden I can't see my transport, so I can't move things around here. Andy the musician, welcome in. That's fine. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, so what we're hearing here, like I said, I already mentioned this briefly, so I'll kind of tell you exactly. Now that I always tell people, mix with your ears first and foremost. Don't mix with your eyes, because you're going to see things popping up, and it's going to make you make decisions that rob you surgically of a lot of the life in your mix. But what I heard, like I said earlier, was missing a lot of low mid and low energy in the song, and then kind of strict mids, anywhere from like 1,000 to 3,000 hertz in this little pocket right here. There's a lot of energy right there, and it's introducing some ringing. It's introducing some what I would just call resonance is just sound, but unbeneficial resonance to the mix, where you have this big buildup on the high end of the guitars, the mids of the vocals, some of the cymbals and the drums, and so on, where all this buildup is making it a bit harsh and a bit brittle to listen to. So as soon as I pulled up the EQ, I'm just using Fab Filter. You could do this with the stock EQ. I give it a little bit of a push at like 2,000 hertz or so, and immediately it starts ringing really bad. Nasty. Bring that out. Beautiful. Immediately, okay, I've done two things. All I did was address those two things. And again, I'm doing this on the master. Don't do this on the master. Please don't. Do this on the elements, right? So what I'm feeling is that bass needs to be addressed. Maybe low end of the drums, bass needs to be addressed. Mids for the vocals, and especially of a double-tracked, beautiful, but a double-tracked electric guitar in the background of the, or, not in the background, but they're pretty forward in the mix on the left and on the right there. Those are carrying a lot of your chord structure, a lot of your rhythm section here. And those are really, really prominent. Again, around 2,000 to 2,300 hertz. So that little pocket right here is where you're getting this big buildup of energy right there. All I've done, quite literally made two notches, two bell curves on, thank you for the follow, two bell curves on FabFilter. You could do this with the stock EQ. This is not fancy stuff. And I'm doing this on a master. This is just shitty. Don't do this. Do it on the individual elements that you need to target these on. And all I did is I lowered it about 2.5 dB at about 2,300 hertz. And I gave it a pretty solid, almost 4 dB boost at about 120 hertz. What that tells me is that ringing that's happening at about 2,300, 2,200 hertz is some of the cause of some of that like over resonance happening in the mids right there that is becoming more harsh and more brittle. As soon as you suppress that, the mix kind of it blooms a little bit more because now there's some room to build loudness and build expression here without it being harsh to listen to. And then the lower end, these low mids into the lows right here at about 120 hertz, it's a bell curve, so it's affecting a little bit around that as well, probably between about 70 hertz to about 200 hertz-ish. I've given that about a 4-ish, 3.5 to 4 dB boost right there. And it's just opened up the low end of the snare feels fatter. The guitars feel like they have some weight again. Low end of the vocal feels more powerful. So all of a sudden with just these like two little elements right here, the whole mix kind of awakens a little bit. And I'll go ahead and A and B it for you so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. There's going to be some loudness differences. I'm not worried about that. But you will hear a difference in not just how loud or present this is, because I'm actually cutting some frequency, which would make it quieter or perceptively quieter. At the same time, you're going to hear a really big difference in kind of the vibrancy of the mix as well. Devour, welcome in. Appreciate you tapping in. It's at !submit if you type it in the chat on Twitch, but we are closed for today. So you'll have to tap in either tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon we'll be live again. Okay, so here is the original. Let's get into the main section here. Thank you, Wubsy. Appreciate you, man. It's like all of this, it's a small difference, but it's like all of a sudden I can feel a little bit more of the drums. I get more of the rhythm section of the guitar. I'm also feeling and hearing more of the actual like punch behind the rhythm, matching the bass, matching the kick. Those three things that are working in tandem right now to create your rhythm section. Again, rhythm guitar strumming pattern, the drums and the bass working together with the kick and with the, the kick and the bass. Those three things come to life as well a bit more here. I'm going to exaggerate it just a little bit more so we can kind of hear what we're talking about here. I'm going to push it forward a bit. Let's get into the hook. Is this original? Back. Original. It's subtle and it's small, and I'm exaggerating a little bit in order to hear the difference between just like what that energy feels like having it on the master right there. But what it does tell me, because there is such like now like inflation of the mix, it blooms a lot more, just feels, it opens up a lot more. I'm immediately, again, without even touching individual track outs, we're actually getting better separation. I'm hearing what the bass is doing. I'm hearing more clarity from the kick pattern. I'm getting some of the ringing out of the vocals and the rhythm guitar, so I'm able to clarify where they are a little bit more with two bell curves on the master, which is never something you should do in this context. But what that tells me is those two areas can be targeted, right? So on your electric guitar specifically, around 20, so this is kind of the bullet point of how it affects you. On your guitars, or maybe your guitar bus, if you're bussing, which I would recommend that you do, give you some level of control. I would send all of your guitars to a guitar bus, and on that guitar bus, what I would probably do to help you with your vocal clarity and help you with your separation is have a mid-side EQ on that guitar bus. So send all of your guitars, your leads, your rhythms, all those higher patterns right there, send them to a guitar bus, and on your mid-side EQ, create a bell curve at 2300 hertz and pull where that ringing is and where that energy is kind of encroaching on the lead vocal, carve it out of the center of the mix. So in your mid-channel of the mix right here, carve that frequency out so it's no longer affecting the center channel of the mix where that lead vocal is, and it's not going to step on its toes anymore. It's going to give you better separation and better clarity. And if you need to reintroduce some mids, I would probably still keep it out of that range because it is still ringing a little bit, which you can fix on the guitar channels themselves, right? On the EQ on the guitars, carve some of that space out so it doesn't feel like it's giving you any more issues. It's not ringing. It's going to give you more headroom. At the same time, if you want to reintroduce a really wide, powerful, production structure on the outside, you want the guitars to feel really wide, reintroduce some of those mids, let's say maybe 1,000 to 2,000 hertz, right below that range, not where it's ringing, but right below it, a little warmer. Introduce that to the side channel, right? So you're going to carve some energy out away from where the vocal is sitting and reintroduce some mids, maybe a little bit lower, but introduce some mids in the side channel so the mix feels really wide. It still feels powerful, all the while not stepping on the toes of the lead vocal. That's really important in that context. Okay, let me get towards the end of the song here really quick. I'm going to get this out of Pro Tools. I just wanted to double check that really quick because what that tells me is that those two areas, far low end, and those mids around 2,000 to 2,500 hertz need to be addressed in order to regain clarity. Where you address that is where most of those are manifesting in your mix. So again, it's going to be a little bit on your vocals, a little bit on the guitars, and how you position those and how you work those out. But that's definitely where I would give yourself some solid energy right there. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get into this section here. Last little part here. But I mean, again, like I said at the very beginning, the structure I think is fantastic. I think it's a good song. I think you're a good vocalist. You're a good writer. I think the guitar sounds really, really nice. I think the structure is great. The dynamics are awesome. I like the song. This is just about regaining clarity, regaining some polish while still keeping the song raw and energetic. It's not a pop record. You still want it to feel raw. You still want it to feel energetic. You still want it to have a lot of energy. It's not necessarily about, being too surgical with it. I just want to regain some of that separation. If you do that, I think you're going to be in a fantastic place. D Busy, the legend. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing amazing. All right, let's get into the last section here. This just remind me of early 2000s pop rock stuff. It's got a really cool feel, man. I'm enjoying this a lot. A lot of this is happening on the guitar. So the vocals are there, but the vocals are fairly smooth. Maybe they could use some work, but they're fairly smooth. I think the vast majority of the ringing and the resonance that we're hearing is happening. It's happening in the double track and it's happening on the guitars themselves. So that's where I would spend most of your time is addressing the relationship between those guitars and the bass and getting those really, really clear. What's up, Slimothy? It's so good to see you, man. Thanks for tapping in. Let's go, Wubsy. I love that, man. I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful melody. It's catchy. It's repetitive. The structure's fantastic. Beautiful. You got a great voice. Seriously, great voice. That's Sean McChord. Y'all, please show some love to Sean. Show some love. I think you're fantastic, man. Early 2000s sound, hell yeah, dude. It's so good. It's so catchy, it's sticky, it's gluey. You have all of that repetition, great pattern recognition, like the structure, literally the structure is fantastic. This is a song that could be in a show. This is a song that could be in the radio. Like it's very, very well structured. It's very, very well structured. I'm proud of the work that you're putting into it. And this is years ago, if this is 3 years ago, whatever it was, the fact that this is kind of where you were, kind of starting as far as like repolishing a lot of your records, dude, you're about to crush it. Y'all, please show some love to Sean. Everybody go follow them as well. Go boost their algorithm. Let's keep it going. Of all my favorite pop punk that used to play at Holiday, 100%. It has that nostalgia. We got Demore in the building. Let's dive in. Hop in the chat really quick. These will be our last couple records here, probably last 2 songs or so. It's going to be short and sweet today. I'll probably try to hop on the same for a couple songs tomorrow to get through a couple that maybe we needed to save. And then our long lives will start again on Tuesday. So I've been doing about 4-hour lives. We'll start those again on Tuesday. But if I get on tomorrow, it'll be a little bit shorter as well. Hey, appreciate you. All right, let's get into it. This is produced by Demore right here in the building. I was listening to a lot of Luther Candor's recently, and I wanted to make something soulful that felt new. So I made this instrumental and used Suno for the vocals. Wanted to see if you know anyone that could sound good to redo the vocals. I bet you I do. I bet you I do. I bet you I do. Let's get into it. But the production is all, I'm just reading between the lines. The production's all yours. You've made that just, within your DAW of choice. But the vocals you used as a placeholder for the vocal demo. Am I reading that correctly? Perfect. Okay. Any other details you want me to have, drop it in the chat. Last 2 songs here. We're going to go ahead and close it up with Demore and Mason Merrick right here in the chat. I don't think if I've heard your music before, please let me know. I don't believe that I have. So give me any, I love context. I love details. Give me some details about the role that you play in your music, the way that you go about creating it, stuff like that, the gear you're using. I don't care. I just like details. First time. Let's go. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate your generosity so much. Let's dive in. This is First Kiss by Demore. As far as I know, it's unreleased. It doesn't have any distribution yet. Let's go.
It doesn't matter what I
Woo.
you know what I it doesn't matter what I kissing in the hallway, yeah. Neon humming in the space, just your laughing, my bad timing. Falling kinda out of place, looking at the streetlights, yeah. Laying in the gold haze, heart beating
Love the
like a
roads.
cheap drum, soft enough to leave a trace. And you don't like poetry. You said, boy, you think too deep. You want something light and easy, like a song you barely keep. I say I wanna tell you how your name keeps on my tongue, but I trip over my own words every time you come around. And maybe I'm a little wrecked, maybe I'm a little too young, but when you look at me like that, I forget where I come from. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I still say it anyway. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what
I love that
I mean
bass.
when you're standing in my way. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I think about you all day. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I hope you feel the same. Late night on the front steps, yeah. Moonlight on your jacket sleeve. You keep talking about tomorrow, like you never planned to leave. I keep talking through the quiet, trying to hide the way I stare. Every little thing you do now feels like electricity in the air. And you don't say forever, but you don't say goodbye. So I lean a little closer, trying to read between your eyes. If I fall a little faster, would you catch me on the way? Or let this moment disappear when the morning turns to gray? And maybe I'm a little wrecked, maybe I'm a little too young, but when you look at me like that, I forget where I come from. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I still say it anyway. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I mean, and you're standing in my way. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think,
Thank
but
you for the
I
follow
think
as well.
about you all
Thank you for the
day.
hand hearts. Appreciate it.
You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I hope you feel the same. You know.
Beautiful. Production structure's great, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Quentin, only the vocalist. So they're very open about it. So if you go back in the chat, if it'll let you, very, very open about it. So the production is all them, and you can tell there's a lot of different elements of this. You can tell what's actually produced. You can look at the clarity. You can hear the artifact, or the lack thereof, the lack of aliasing, so on and so on. The main production structure is all done by them. Lead vocal right now is a placeholder, but they are aiming to get another vocal on here ready to go. I want you to look up. Sorry, I gotta move this. Jesus Christ, what the hell? my monitor controller broke, and so I have to keep reaching all the way over to my interface right now to keep turning up and down the music. The only thing I don't like about using Untitled, the Untitled like stream library format, is they don't have an audio control, or they don't have an audio level control, which is just an absolute nightmare. So like with everything else I can, but for whatever reason they don't have one on here, so I have to keep turning it up and down over at the interface, because this is it's a loud master. But y'all, please show some love to the family. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, let's dive into a couple details here. This is Demore. It's not your fault. It's the platform's fault. And it's a fine platform for sharing music. I just don't know why like you have an audio sharing platform without controls over loudness. It's just hilarious to me. But let's dive into it. Let's run it from the top. I want you to. There's an artist I have in mind. There's an artist I've worked with a couple times before. I've consulted with him many on dozens of songs I've consulted on with them as far as building their production and their vocal production and stuff like that. There's an artist, Cameo 13. And I don't remember if there's an underscore, but it should pop up. It's a very unique name, so I don't think there'd be too many other ones on there. And there's an artist, Cameo 13. Now, obviously, this is a like pitched up formant, vocal here. So this is a format shifted, almost like little altar boy style, high octave vocal. So this is a little bit of a different format, but I think their vocal would work really well. They do a lot of like pop R&B and stuff like that. They have a really cool vocal structure, though. I feel like it would work really well, even if you still wanted to format shift it, even if you still wanted to like pitch up or whatever, anything like that. I think they would have a really good vocal timbre for the style that you're doing. I love your bass lines. I love your progressions here. They're really, really soulful. They have a really great energy to it. Your crosses are great. I don't know what you're using for bass. So the bass almost sounds like maybe the ample sound bass. But you have really, really good structure for your percussion and bass as well. I like it a lot. Everything's really tight. It's fairly dry, but then you're balancing that with a lot of ambiance on the top end, which I think is fantastic. So let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details too. If you want to see the queue, we got one more song today, and that's it. It's going to be short and sweet today. If you would like to check the queue, you can go to the link in my bio, and there's a tab that says see the queue once you're at the submission form. But let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details. Shout out to Demore. I really like your production, man. Genuinely, really like your production. It sounds great.
It doesn't matter what
I mean, immediately there's so much shine. There's so much drive behind the production. It sounds so good. I'm gonna back it up one more time. I love one of my favorite things about this. Is Into My Arms, one of his records. Let me see. I can pull him up on Spotify real quick and see. Yeah. Might be one word, so let me just see. I think so. Let me double check. I'll go to their platform real quick and just see.
For me,
Yeah.
baby, please may I dive into your sea.
Yeah, that's them. That's some of the I think that's some of their older stuff too. But yeah, that's them. They do some work and they're honestly, I've heard them on a bunch of unreleased stuff too. They've done some punk rock stuff. They've done some pretty strict R&B stuff, some like classic R&B stuff. They're pretty versatile, even though most of the songs I've heard of them aren't even released under their platform. They're good. Like they know it, and they have a good, they have, I think I have a TLM 103, like, or an SM7B, depending on what they're doing. They do a good job. So like they have the gear to be able to track clean and send it to you for mixing or however you structure that stuff. I think they'd be able to execute it. So shoot them a message, man. I can vouch for just their ability to execute. I don't get to hear them too much anymore, but if you can tap in with them, that'd be a good artist to at least like kind of have in your back pocket for some records. I think you'll be in good hands. And I think obviously hearing what you do, man, they'll be in good hands as well, man. This is solid. So let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details. But one of my favorite things about this, for me, it's all about the nuances. It's all about the ear candy. It's all about the peripheral stuff. I mean, even just the small detail. I mean, you start with a heavy bass line with some crash intros here that are well formatted. Everything sounds great. But to me, my favorite part is just the chimes, right? It's just that, you know what I mean? It's just that little swipe of resonance right there. It's that little bit of movement right there that to me is like those little ear candy things make these feel authentic. They make it feel energetic. It makes it feel really vibrant. All of those little details right there for me they're small details in the broad spectrum of the mix. But they really add so much character and so much, sonic texture to the song, man. Chase Samples in the building. What's up, Chase Samples? Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing amazing.
It doesn't matter what I, you know what I
I think Cameo would be fire on this. I could hear it. I'm imagining I'm like copying his voice in my memory over to the song. I think he'd do a great job with something like this.
Neon humming in the space, just your laugh and my bad timing. Falling kinda out of place, looking at the streetlights, yeah. Laying in the gold haze, heart beating like a cheap drum, soft enough to leave a trace. And you don't like poetry. You said, boy, you think too deep. You want
Okay,
something.
one thing I'd be interested in as far as production structure, and again, this is with the vocal that's here. Obviously, with the way that you made it, it's overly bright and saturated. It's got all of the artifact. You have all that hiss and aliasing at the top. I'm trying to keep that in mind. I would love a strong intro, and then to pull back into just a hair more restraint on this first verse, so that there's more dynamic range between this first verse and when you go into the hook. Now, obviously, vocal layers will help a lot with this, right? Like when you start adding harmonies, you start adding some stacks and some, harmonized ad libs and stuff like that with whatever vocal you get on here. That will help do that, because the verse might be a little bit simpler, and then you start to stack some classic R&B layers on there going into the hook. That will help with that dynamic range, of course. But there's a lot of the high. So we get the chimes, we get some bell tones in the background right there as well. So we already have like that, the chimes, the bell tones. We also have some really bright high strings over the top. There's a lot in the background that's all really bright. So the top end of the mix, although it sounds fantastic, the top end of this mix has a lot of energy. There's a lot of elements that are kind of sitting up there. It might be nice to just for at least like a section of the first verse to restrain a little bit more and keep it more progression on the roads, bass line underneath it, and keep that like really solid and really punchy. And then maybe B section of the verse, or only going into the hook, do we maybe introduce some of those more high-end elements, whether it's going lower on the strings, or whether it's just on the mixing side, maybe pulling back on some of those elements. To me, it's not necessary. It sounds great. Like what I'm saying is taste. It's a taste thing. It's not necessarily like right or wrong. I don't really care about that. But it's just something that I'm noticing is as soon as the song comes in, we're hype. Right. And then we get into the verse and it feels hype and it feels really energetic. And we go into the hook and it still feels hype and energetic. And although element-wise we get some dynamic range, sonically we don't really get any breaks from this sound design. Punchy bass, nice snappy tight drums and high-end shimmer. We don't ever really get any restraint from that right there. Should feel a little smaller before it gets big. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And that could be as simple as like, don't do the bells until you transition into the hook and you start to build up right there. Maybe, and try to think. We have the Rhodes in the background there. Keep the Rhodes, keep the bass. And then instead of introducing, the strings are fine. They probably just can be, they can be maybe back a couple dB so they're not one of the prominent layers. Because again, I'm imagining a bright lead vocal with some layers that's going to take some of that space as well. So if we can mitigate some of like the bells, the top end shimmer, the strings and stuff like that, restrain a little bit however you want to, right? Maybe a dark brassier kind of Juno style synth instead of the strings for the first half, and then maybe add on to it a little bit. Could be nice, but however you do that, obviously creatively is up to you. But just sonically, the way my ears are hearing this, it'd be nice to have more of a journey into that energy instead of being like, boom, we're here. You know what I mean? Because it starts strong, beautiful. Everything's in, going into the verse, a little bit of restraint, and then allowing it to kind of get back to that hook place again where we have a little bit more energy. Could be nice. Now, again, do with that what you will. This is your song. It's your creativity. I'm not here to necessarily dictate in any form what you do. Just get your own creative wheel spinning. It's kind of what I'm doing. Because I hear the guitar there. You have a nice like bucket brigade, chorus on a guitar on the left side right there. That's a cool little texture right there as well. But it's another thing giving you this pop of energy right there, and I like it. But I'm wondering if the bells plus the guitars plus the strings plus the all of this stuff here, that buildup of all those different elements is where some of that loudness and that brightness is coming from.
I said I wanna tell you how your name keeps on my tongue, but I trip over my own.
Maybe bringing in some stuff right here, like maybe bringing in the strings and some layers here as kind of like your pre-hook could give you a little bit of that push of energy. So we stair step a little bit more instead of just going here.
Every time you come around, and maybe I'm a little red, maybe I'm a little too young, but when you look at me like that.
Great melody structure, great format, great vocalist on this is going to crush it. This is where I would open up. Strings can definitely open up some beautiful classic 2000s, 90s R&B strings. Like get the motif, get the Triton strings in there. Like start to build that out a little bit. That's going to be beautiful. I love that so much. Bring in the bells, bring in the the DX7 and the Rhodes and the chords. Like get all that energy in there. This is a great spot for you to really allow the mix to bloom here. And I think you've done a great job of that.
I forget where I come from. You know what I think?
Layers.
You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I still.
There's some really nice, subtle brass moments in the. There's some little pops of like synth brass in the background right there that they're very tasteful. Like I said, it's the ear candy that matters here. I think you've done a great job of that.
Say it anyway. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I mean when you're standing in my way. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I think about you all day. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I hope you feel the same. Late night on the front steps, yeah, moonlight on.
Hear how this still, although some of the strings have left and some of the energy has changed, it still feels really loud and really, really big. That's where I was like, boom, 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 boom. I want to hear that. I want to hear the tightness of the bass with the snaps. I want to hear the a little bit more restraint dynamically out here, because that's what I'm paying attention to, is mainly the dynamics, because your productions are great, man. Productions are really, really clean. Format is great. I mean, the sound design choices are really, really clean and clear. Great separation of those elements. But I'm hearing like not just what is there, but how does the song feel? Like the kind of the profile of the song. How does it feel going from like section to section and you know, kind of compartmentalizing it a little bit? How does it transition? And this second verse to me almost feels, even though it's sonically a little bit different, almost feels just as loud and just as big. And so that restraint from verse to verse, I think, is going to help make those hooks matter, and those post hooks that are really big with the tag matter even more, because we've restrained it a little bit and then let it expand a bit more.
Jacket sleeve. You keep talking about
I mean,
tomorrow,
it's so good though, man. It's really, really well done.
like you never planned to leave. I keep joking through the quiet, trying to hide the way I stare. Every little thing you do now feels like electricity in the air. And you don't say forever, but you don't say goodbye. So I lean a little closer, trying to read between your eyes. If I fall a little faster, would you catch me on the way?
Yeah, I hope Cameo has the capacity to do something on this, because it would be so cool. It'd be, man, you're a solid producer. I mean, these progressions are great. You know, you have really good movement between the different dynamics. Restraint as far as like simplicity goes from the drums and the bass line, I think it's chef's kiss. I think it's so good. It's punchy. It's energetic. It's got a lot of it too. A lot of it. Like I'm talking a lot about the high end stuff, but foundation of this progression, movement, percussion structure, I think is absolutely fantastic. So good.
This moment disappear when the morning turns to gray. And maybe I'm a little wrecked, maybe I'm a little too young. But when you look at me like that, I forget where I come from. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I still.
This would also be a great song for a feature. A really like lyrical forward feature on this would be great. Nothing too melodic. I mean, you could definitely do something melodic. But this would also be just pacing wise for this song, just to get your wheel spinning and think of maybe someone you know. There's a lot of people out there. Everybody wants to rap, but there, you know, I think this is a great opportunity. The pacing is nice and slow. It's really easy. The production structure is really open. It's kind of reminding me of like the Rush Chomp 2 album, where there's a lot of open space, some melodic stuff, but and some sampling hooks, as well as really lyrical forward, you know, production, you know, vocal production. I would love to hear like someone like Cameo for maybe like the hook and a first verse, back to the hook, it's all them, beautiful R&B layers, and then a second or even a third verse that is a really solid feature on like a really good, clean, lyrical, like very lyrical forward feature, I think would be really, really cool on a record like this. I think that'd be fantastic.
Say it anyway. You know what I mean?
And like bring it down to nothing but like the Rhodes guitar and bass for a second verse, clear out everything else for a moment, and then just get someone who can actually rap. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people on here. Someone who can actually rap, I think would be really cool, man. I think it'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I mean, and you're standing in my way. You know what I think? You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I think about you all day. You know what I think?
Smooth.
You know what I think? It doesn't matter what I think, but I hope you feel the same.
really love the chorus. Love it. A little bit of like the Foley in the background too, some of the vocal sampling in the background. You're getting some of this tape hiss in there as well, like cassette hiss in there. I don't know if it's like RC20 or something similar, but you have such great production structure in the background. Progression, I think, is absolutely beautiful. You're getting a lot of that like soulful, bluesy energy that you're wanting out of this while keeping most of it really, really, really tight. It's not like too loose and too flowy, but it's filling in every gap and it's noisy and busy. It feels really solid. It feels really solid. It feels really, really clean. I think that for me, the biggest thing with this song that I've hammered home 100 times now is just going to be about how you find restraint in the production to leave space for an actual vocal and those, because there's not really even a lot of layers here right now. It's just the one that you have there. So when you bring in a vocal and the vocal also has layers and harmonies and bright reverbs and stuff like that, and, you know, compression and EQ, when those come into the place, is there room for those to exist with all the other high end frequency that we have there? That's my biggest question of, I think, what you'll have to kind of figure out in the production, specifically in the verses, because I like the vibrancy of the hook, but specifically in the verses, I think that's what you're going to have to toil with a little bit is, you know, how do we figure that out and making sure so much cool stuff to 100%. And that's, you know, I'm in the same boat all the time where I like everything that I've put into a song. You know what I mean? Like where I'm like, I put this on here because I like what I did and I want it to be loud. But you know, the saying goes, I guess, if you will, it's like, if everything's loud, nothing's loud. If everything's quiet, nothing's quiet. If everything's wide, nothing's wide. Like you need contrast to be able to distinguish the energy of a song. So that's where I think we can play around a little bit with like the balancing of the mix, especially on the verses, maybe automating some of that. Like maybe those bells are a little bit wider, a little bit, you know, maybe even a little bit more mellow and a little bit more saturated so they're not as slicey in the mix. But then maybe you do push them forward on the hook and you open everything up a little bit more and let it bloom. And, you know, and the same with some of these other elements is like more dynamic, allowing more space for that vocal to exist if and when you get one on there. And you'll be able to mitigate some of those issues, I think, fairly easily, because like we talked about with the last song too, what is there is good. The sounds that you chose, the sound design choices are great. The overall like aesthetic of the song, the way that you've built out the format of the song, I think is fantastic. Now it's just about making space, you know, kind of morphing this and manipulating this over here to make sure that there's room for all of those cool things that you have, which are all cool, for them to coexist in the mix and in the production. And dude, I have no doubts that you'll figure that out. I think for me, it's just like bringing it to your attention so that you kind of creatively can figure that out for yourself. But man, you're awesome. Man, I can't wait to hear more from you. I think you're a fantastic producer. Very, very, very talented. You obviously have an understanding of music. You have an understanding of progression and tension. These are not just, you know, you're not just doing, you know, majors and minors, but you have some sevenths in there. You have some diminished layers. Like you have some texture in there that takes some knowledge of how these things work together to make them work in a production. Whether or not that's self-trained or you have more experience with that, you're doing an amazing job. So you should be incredibly confident with what you're doing. Can't wait to hear a vocal on what you're doing as well. Thank you so much for the follow, man. I'll follow you as soon as I get off the live. I want to follow you back, man. I want to stay in touch with what you're doing. I think you're doing a great job. So, man, show some love. Do more right here in the chat. Please show some love. Everybody who's in here, make sure that you go follow. Obviously, they make beats, they make productions. If you sell them, if you're trying to work with people, then definitely let them know. Let them know if you're wanting to work with people. If you're for hire right now, let people know. And if you're looking for a great producer in this genre, you know, pop R&B, rap, then definitely shoot a message to Demore. You have perfect pitch. I have what you would call near perfect pitch, or relative pitch. Which just means that once I hear a note within one context key, I can figure out the key or the melody of a song and stuff like that. It's not perfect. You can't, you know, the Charlie Puth, like I can ding a glass and I'm like, that's a C sharp, but it's got a little bit of an A in it. Like I don't do that. But if a song is playing and I can play one note or like loosely find, you know, the pitch of it within, you know, a second, I can figure out the rest of the progression pretty easily. But anyways, y'all show some love one more time. Let's keep it rolling. This is our last song of the day. We got Mason in the building. Mason, hop in the chat. This is going to close us out for today, and then we will be live again, potentially tomorrow afternoon, but definitely Tuesday. Definitely Tuesday. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. There's Mason in the building. Mason, have I heard you? The name seems super familiar. If I haven't heard it before, let me know. Give me the role that you play in your music. Let's talk about some details and let's get into it, man. This is, I can be honest, I don't know if I can say the name of the song on TikTok. Maybe I can. But I'm trying to figure out how I could. First time, let's go. TikTok is just it's so strict. I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I just won't say the name, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the song. I just TikTok is so sensitive that I'm concerned that if I say it, it's just going to shut down the stream or it's going to pull it completely. I'll read through some stuff, and of course we're going to break down the whole song. The lyrics and everything should be fine. But sometimes when the host says stuff, it knocks everything out. I'm just recording acoustic stuff right now at my house. Going to release a bunch of acoustic stuff and hopefully pay for a full band album. Thanks for listening. Let's get into it. The current song that we're listening to is by Mason Merrick. Just go check out their music in general. Let people know where they can find you. Of course, the song that we're listening to is released, which means you should go listen to it. You should go stream it. You should go like it. You should go add it to your playlist. So on and so on. Go boost their algorithm. Let's get it. This is Mason Merrick. I'm pulling up the song right now. And then again, they might even be blocking stuff you're saying in the chat. I will have no way of knowing. But this is Something Eyes. This is a demo, but it is out on Spotify. Is this our music or a music request? Your music. It's your music. We're closed for today, but we will be live again potentially tomorrow afternoon. Let's get into it.
She got cocaine eyes, but she still lies. I said she done quit.
Good voice.
Got a ring on her
Absolutely,
finger,
Sammy.
she still lingers around her old stomping grounds downtown. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Lost in the time zone with that word be gone.
Nice. Mom, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Be found when the sun comes up. Stay before a tick of time.
We're closed for today. But I'll be live again potentially tomorrow afternoon. So just make sure you're following, and we'll open up the line again either tomorrow or Tuesday.
A new job at the hotel. If you want a good time for
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate y'all.
Just don't go kiss and tell. No.
How are you recording?
There's a pistol in a purse in case things get worse. She'll lay that hammer down. She's been contemplating for a way out. Maybe this night's the only shot she's got. Oh,
Beautiful. I love that idea. Love that idea.
On. 2 shots to the chest. Now the man's dead and gone. She only wants to be found when the sun comes up. Stay before a tick of time. There's a reason she ain't leaving. Maybe it's some bruises or the scars. Only time will tell with her.
Okay, cool. Nice.
A new job at the hotel. If you want a good time for an hour, ask Crystal. Just don't go kiss and tell. No.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Don't kiss and tell. No.
This is you playing all of the acoustics?
Tick of time. There's a reason she ain't leaving. Maybe it's some bruises or the scars.
Okay, cool.
Only time will tell with her. A new job at the
Let's go. I love it.
If you want a good time for an hour, ask Chris.
You're like, I don't even know what we did. You're in another dimension.
Kiss and tell.
That's fire.
Don't kiss and tell, no. Don't snitch on my girl, Crystal. No, don't
Fire.
snitch bleach on crystal.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And don't go kiss and tell.
I love it. 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 Y'all, please show some love. I mean, because also, for one, please show some love to Mason Merrick right here in the chat. Everybody go follow. You're a great vocalist, a great guitar player. The structure of this is great. Your storytelling is awesome. This is the kind of country record, especially acoustic country record, that is made for music videos. It's made for media. It's made for so many different mediums of art that I think will do absolutely amazing for you. And again, I think that's what a lot of people don't keep in mind, is like they make this kind of a song in a vacuum, and then have no idea how it could possibly be presented to anyone. And so I think what you have here has that ability to cross a lot of those boundaries. I've heard the song for the first time right now, and I can already see the music video. I can already imagine the full band on here. There's so much, color here that I'm excited to dive into, man. So y'all please show some love. Show some love to Mason Merrick right here in the chat. What time in your country? Because I'm not American and I'm Asian. Let's go. Where are you joining from, Sammy? I appreciate you tapping in. I'm Central. I'm Central time zone. Central time zone. I wish I could be bored by musician and share my music board in my own country. It's hard industries. Yeah. I could feel that. Taking her sign is taking their wedding rings. Okay, let's dive into it, man. Let's get into some details too. 318, here in Malaysia. Let's go. Thank you for tapping in, Harith. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate you being here as well. Let's get into some of the details, man. Really quick, one of the things, even on like your demos or your acoustic records, one thing I would recommend, I'm going to say this loosely because this is a raw record. This is not your fully produced record, so I'm not too worried about it. The song is good. The song is interesting. That matters more than anything. I really do think it's fun. One thing I would do, even on demos, especially if you're going to release them, you're going to actually put them out there for people. I would probably double track or stereo track your acoustic guitars at the very least. Maybe not the lead. I think the lead you could probably keep in mono. Rhythm acoustic guitars, I would double track. It's a simple, strumming pattern with the, 1, 2, 4, back to the 1. It's very, very simple as far as the format goes. So I don't think you need to do anything crazy. That's a pretty easy one to double track, but I would get one on the left, maybe a slightly different position on the right, or just stereo track it, just, 2 condensers or however it makes sense for the way that you're tracking, and get 2 tracks of that acoustic. So, because the only reason why I say that is everything's completely a mono here. Even for a demo or an acoustic record, you still want the same impact and vibrancy of a full record, even if you're limited in the amount of instruments that are present in the mix. So even if you're just going to have an acoustic and a lead, or an acoustic and a fiddle and a lead, or whatever it may be, right? Or an upright bass, you add a couple elements, even if you're going to keep it really simple, still want, some more broad stereo information. So in this case, we have a vocal in mono and we have an acoustic guitar in mono. So the whole mix is not bad. I mean, you have a great voice and it's fairly well balanced, obviously, for how simple this is. It sounds good. But it's all kind of coming at you from right here. I would love to open that up a little bit. Obviously, vocal sits where it sits. Lead guitar, I think, is fine to keep where it's at. But it would be nice to stereo track the guitar, the rhythm guitar, and or, double track it. So you record a take on the left, you record a take on the right, and push them out there as well. I'm at the point of just releasing stuff on my own, still learning other 100%. And that's why, like, for me, this is those are the easiest ways for you to get squeeze the most out of what you're doing in self-production, right? It's different if you're hiring a bunch of session musicians, or we're like, hey, we got to do all this fancy, crazy stuff. What I would literally do is, like, if you're here, the song's in A major, so you're gonna track this. And you're gonna do this. Track this exact thing on the left side, and then track the exact same thing or similar on the right side. That way you get that stereo. And pan one, 80 to 100% this way, pan another one, 80 to 100% this way, and you're gonna get this wide, punchy, really vibrant mix. You might even need to turn it down a little bit because it feels so isolated, it feels really open. That's just gonna get you out of the mix feeling small, even in self. This is the simplest, easiest way for even you self-producing, self-playing a lot of your stuff with maybe another lead line on there, to get a really vibrant mix out of what you're doing without having to, spend $600 on an engineer out of Nashville to take care of it, which of course you get to go down that road in the future. Fantastic. But this will give you some level of control of, like, opening up your mixes a lot without doing too much. Just one more take of the guitar doing the same thing, and then you'll be good. You'll be ready to go. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate that a lot. That's very kind of you to say. All right, let's run it from the top. Again, I'm not going to say that the full name of the song. You can go check it out yourself. I think it's there are a couple other songs. Some huge songs on here, man. You've done some great stuff. 3,400,000, 160,000, 150,000, 160,000. Yeah, you've done some work. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. We're not messing around over here. We're not messing around over here. Yeah, Drifter has 3 million streams. You're crushing it, man. That's so good. So good, so good. You mix and master stuff. They have been helping me a lot. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that's the way, man. Especially when you're just early on learning this stuff or taking, whether or not you're learning it for the first time, but you're taking on more of that process for the first time, it's so necessary to surround yourself with people that understand what they're doing. I got 6 kiddos living on our farm, kind of done with the road, just writing and releasing. I mean, dude, there are so many people out there that just do that. If you could build out enough of the tracking process at home where you have a good acoustic guitar and a good clean, you have to go crazy, a good clean microphone in a decent environment where you have good control over your tracking process. There's a lot of other, mailbox money. Exactly. You don't have to do too much. You don't got to do too much. Official HQ, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. You don't have to do too much, and you can ship it off to someone else to do the more annoying stuff that you just don't want to deal with, and you can just come up with the ideas, execute in your own home, and you never have to worry about going on the road. Like I have no plans on ever touring or going on the road or doing performances live or anything like that. I like what I do, and I like doing it in the comfort of my space. You know what I mean? Like I really love, like I have this in our home that we're renting right now, and I built out a whole studio in this secondary room over here. I mean, it's fairly big. It's a bigger room, but like I'm so happy with that. And I don't really want much more than that. I would love more exposure. I would love more, more fruits from what you execute in here. But I have no desire to push far outside of that. So if you're like, dude, I've got a family, I'm on a farm in Texas. I don't really want to do anything else, but I still want to execute my creativity. I still want to get it out there. Darrell, thanks for tapping in, man. And thank you for the love, man. That's very, very, that's very, very kind of you. Rob, thank you for the follow as well. I love the road. Head to Idaho this month. A bunch of my family just moved to Idaho, actually. Like half my family moved out there. Head to Idaho this month, bring the whole fam. That's the dream, 100%. And then and again, if you get to a place where you're like, man, I can just, if I feel like it, I just throw my guitar in a case in the back, and I just, I get a Universal Audio Volt and a decent condenser, and I throw it in a case, and I take it on the road. It's like if creativity strikes, I can toss a demo up onto the phone or onto the laptop. That's beautiful. But you don't have to do anything too crazy. Let me see. Thank you, HQ. I appreciate you. Let me see. Thank you, Darrell. Appreciate you. How to deal with a low note with a husky voice? It depends on what your pain point is, Sammy. What's the pain point? What's the issue with the low note? The low note with a husky voice. Because that's not an inherently bad thing. That can be a beautiful thing in a record, depending on what the pain point is. If it's boomy, if it's muddy, then we can talk about low end EQ. We can talk about that 100 to 300 hertz range where there's a lot of mud right there. Potentially, we can talk about proximity effect. The closer you get to the microphone, the less diffusion there is of those low notes and those lower frequencies. So it gives you some boominess. We maybe help back off the mic by another 4 inches or so with a good pop filter. That might mitigate some of the issues that you have with a low husky voice. But a low note on a husky voice is a beautiful thing. It's a great thing to have. It just depends on why there's a pain point with that note. And then the source of fixing it is going to be dependent on that. I put on shows where 4 people, usually friends, and a song somebody for 4 hours. So much fun. I love that. Yeah, that's the dream. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here. But yeah, I would love, like I said, we can expand some elements of even your early demo mixes so that, and the reason why I say this is because if you can gain some level of control in opening up even your acoustic demo mixes without the band, without the session musicians, without, a bunch of money on engineers, or just having to constantly send, track outs to the people that whatever it may be. If you're able to mitigate having to do that much, you can still get an insane amount of traction for acoustic records, whether that's on social media, whether that's for sync placements, whether that whatever it may be. These can be just as powerful as your 3 million stream bigger records that you have out there. Just because you were able to format it in a way that still gets it to as many people as possible. So let's run it from the top. We'll talk about a couple things, but I already talked, mix wise, I think if you can polish even just those small little details right there without having to do too much, you'll get so many opportunities, man. So many opportunities. It's simple. It's
She
clean.
got cocaine eyes, but she still lies. I said she done quit. Got a ring on her finger.
I mean, immediately just such an engaging story. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, what's up, Kaden? Welcome in. Immediately such an engaging story, an engaging vocal. The melody is already really addicting. Like, there's so many parts of the structure that I think you've executed. I mean, you can see it in your streams, but you know what you're doing. But it's a really, really engaging structure right off the bat, man. Downfall of one song having that many streams is that you're always, yeah, exactly. As you're always like looking at it, like, I know what's up, Discover. I know I can get there, right? And so that's where I'm here is like, I think here's my, and you don't have to follow this, right? This might not be the right answer for you or someone else in your position, but I think if you simplify your process and cut out as many middlemen to your process as possible and cut out as many limitations. Yeah, I'm about to get off. I'll be on maybe tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday. If you can cut out as many limitations to you getting people out there, I think you'll be able to execute more often and in a really simple but very high quality way that can get you back to that. Now, maybe it's not a song off of one album every 3 years. Maybe it's not one single every 3 or 4 months that gets 3 million, but maybe you're able to like put out these really high quality, great songwriting, great structured demos every 2 or 3 weeks, right? Every 2 or 3 weeks. And maybe each of those are getting 60,000, 140,000, 15,000, 280,000, 110,000, right? But you're executing at a pace that's simple, it's easy, it's laid back, not much about your lifestyle actually changes. You get to just actually execute what you're already doing at a slightly more polished level without any of the limitations, owning your distribution and just being able to do it all yourself. I think could be really valuable for you because you can maintain, maybe you don't have a million stream song, once every 6 months or something like that. But maybe you have the same amount of exposure and streams through building a tighter knit community over the long term of more often executing in your craft and getting more darts on the board for people to find you, fall in love with what you do, be a part of your journey. And I would literally, to be honest with you, I would use the limitations you currently face. I say limitations loosely, but as far as the self restriction you've put on yourself of like, I don't want to do all these other things, that ship has kind of sailed. I'm just going to kind of be here. This is what my life looks like. I would use that as your methodology for promoting your music as well. Especially if you're not attached to a label and you're not doing anything, where, you're beholden to anyone else. I think it could be really valuable for you to just be like, hey, I live on a farm. This is the life that I live. And this is where this art comes from. This is where these stories come from. You talk about the gas station down the road. You know what I mean? When you're building song structure, like a song like this, and I think if you're able to if your whole story, your whole aesthetic, your whole methodology behind, producing this and making these songs feels really authentic and really close to you, I feel like you will get so much more out of the music that you make. You won't be chasing the 3 million again because you'll be getting 6 million between a bunch of different songs a little bit tighter. 100%. Thank you for the roses too. Official. I appreciate it. We live in BFE on 86 acres. We are living the dream. These songs I write help with my house. Yeah. I mean, it's a good outlet. And if anything, and again, I'll say this too, and then we'll listen to a little bit more of the song here again before we hop off. Everyone's pursuit of music is different. Every what you want to get out of releasing your music to the world is different too. Some people, like I said, like you're kind of chasing that high of the 3 million. At the same time, maybe that's not even your North Star anymore. Maybe that's not even the thing that you really value anymore. Your pace of life and your priorities in life have shifted. And so that, it really just depends on how you focus and prioritize what you're trying to get out of music. Now, if you're like, man, that would be really cool. It'd be really cool to just be able to like do music when I want to, how I want to, get it out there, and it actually make make some income, and make some things happen. Then, I mean, that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that as well. Or if you're just like, you know what, it's a good mental outlet. I'm not going to even put the stress on myself to try to promote it. I'll send it to some streams. I'll post every once in a while, but I'm not even going to try to like make it this North Star for me. That's completely valid as well. All right, let's listen to a couple little different parts here. But I think I've largely covered everything that I want to cover. I couldn't stand being famous. My buddies are all pretty famous. Too much for me. Yeah, I love being in the background. I love, I mean, obviously, if something crazy happened and a song blew up and it got a lot of exposure, I think I would just have to be very, very strategic with how you direct that exposure. Because I think what a lot of people do is they lose themselves in it, and they get 20 million views on something. Their music starts going viral. It starts going absolutely crazy. And so they're like, I guess I gotta book a local tour and like go all through all these. I gotta go to Austin. I gotta go here and do all this stuff. And they lose themselves in trying to like pursue that high again and trying to like hang on to that song, instead of just being like, okay, that's cool that happened. That is really awesome to to have that exposure and have that movement. But at the end of the day, I still want to live the life that I'm currently living. So I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm just, like you, like I'm just going to keep sending out stuff. You know what I mean? Dream for me is being at Towns Van Zandt when I. Obviously, all the money goes to make it. I mean, hey, that's a great estate. That's a great estate right there. All right, let's run the song a little bit here. But man, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, Mason. Thanks for sending this in, man. You're very talented. Very, very talented.
These are the scars. Only time will tell with her.
It's a great voice,
A
man.
new job at the hotel. If you want a good time for an hour, ask for Crystal. Just don't go. Kiss and tell.
It's so good. It's such a good song. I love the songwriting, man. It's quirky. It's funny. So you have that comedic edge to it, while the structure of it still feels very grounded. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me get to this last section here real quick. But yeah, man, you know what you're doing. You're doing a great job, man. Seriously, just keep chipping away at it. And if you feel up to it, find some small levels and methodologies to improve your demo process so that these don't feel like you're, even when you make something that is just you and it's really simple, you're not limiting yourself in any way. A song like this that, maybe, I don't know how many strings this has, but if the song has 50,000 strings, the potential is still 120,000 streams. You know what I mean? Line is closed for today. Everything's at the link in my bio, but the line is closed for today. We'll be live again, maybe tomorrow afternoon, but most likely Tuesday.
These are the scars. Only time will tell with her. A new job at the hotel. If you want a good time.
Ryder, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Just came out Friday. It's fresh. It's fresh. It's fresh. Simple. It's clean. It's good songwriting. Good storytelling. Dude, of course. I'm honored, man. Appreciate you. It's good. I like it, man. Don't snitch. Don't do it.
Don't go kiss and tell.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Y'all show some love to Mason Merrick in the chat. Please go stream their music. The song you just heard is out on our platform, so go like it, go follow, go add it to your playlist. Go boost their algorithm. Of course, definitely if you're on any of the platforms we're live on, make sure that you follow them here on social media as well. That is going to close this up for today. I appreciate every single one of you so much. I'm about to hop. I can't really say the song name on Mason. If you want to try to type it, you can. Sometimes TikTok blocks it. We'll know if it comes in. So I can't say it on TikTok because they can potentially ban my account. Oh, look, I think it said it. I think it came through. There we go. I've just had a couple issues where I said something even like simpler than that, and they were like, you're banned from the For You page for a day. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So anyways, yeah, that's the song right there. They have a bunch of other music out that I'm sure you're going to love and enjoy. So please show some love to Mason in the chat. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out today. That is going to do it. I will potentially be live again tomorrow afternoon. Same thing, short and sweet, like 4 or 5 songs tomorrow afternoon. If I do that, it'll be later afternoon. Or we'll be back to the normal live schedule, or loosely normal live schedule on Tuesday, where we'll go for like 4 or 5 hours or so. Appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing, amazing rest of your afternoon. Hopefully we'll see y'all soon. Peace.